So, if you don't listen to your heart, you will fear that your yoga is not going very well. And also in a very practical sense, your meditation will not go very well. Your relationships with other people will suffer from it also, because basically you will be dissatisfied with yourself. And okay, the more you can reason out, your morality and find some excuse and things like that, you might, not feel it too much. And that's also why people do it, all this reasoning then, because they don't want to have this feeling. But it won't really change it. It won't really change the fact that you are not very satisfied with yourself at that time. Until maybe after a while you just forget, which is also good. So that brings then also an important subject, which is guilt. My teacher always say, never look back, which is very important. And of course this is not to be taken too literally, because sometimes looking back and seeing whatever you have done wrong and trying to learn from it is okay. But don't get stuck there. To get stuck to your past errors, to identify with your past errors, means that you are going to repeat them. If you believe that you are bad because you have done this or this bad thing, then sure, you'll continue to be bad because that's what you believe. So if you want to believe yourself to be divine, a beautiful work in progress, then you have to be able to let go of the past, let go of those errors. Guilt maybe serves to make yourself some promise to the future that if this occasion, again comes, that you will behave differently. From that moment onwards, you have to drop it. So in that way also, yoga looks very different on the subject of morality than it was done here in Christianity. Here guilt was used very much to impose that morality. And so don't think because I talk about morality that you should be feeling very guilty whenever you are not doing something right. We all make mistakes. We are learning. So accept that process, accept that you will learn, and don't look back. Precisely also for another reason, which is karma. You are creating your own karma. Whatever bad thing that comes to you is the result of some bad thing you did and about which you were feeling guilty. And by that vibration which you have created, you have attracted something like punishment to yourself. That's not a very good idea. You already have still a lot of, let's say, nice suffering coming in your karma that comes from past. Try to leave it at that. Try not to create any more of that, because even though I said suffering is very good because it will ultimately bring you back to the self, it's not required. You can also just go to the self without it. So don't get stuck in the past, because it just creates more and more problems. And remember that I have said also that the only true spiritual progress is in your subconscious mind. It's not about what you are thinking or about what you are doing or whether you can hold your breath for 1 minute or not. These are all things that come and go and are not so important. What is important is your subconscious mind, and what that defines is how you are feeling. Your feeling is the most important thing. Feeling bad always is a bad idea. Always try to feel good and move forward from there, even if it means, using that energy to repair whatever bad you have done as, much as possible. So, and definitely also in deep meditation, whatever you still are feeling guilty about is going to be an obstacle. In deep meditation, when you lose your consciousness of what you have been doing today and what is going to happen tomorrow, when life as it is known at this moment, then you are going into your subconscious mind, and then these things will come out. So the more of those you create, the more difficult it will be to really move beyond and really meet the self like face to face and have that experience, and then from there again grow further. So to be able to let go in meditation, and also even after that, when you really have let go and come into deep state of meditation, whether your life has been like morally satisfying to yourself or not will really matter, will really be very important. So don't be too moralistic about your morality, that's really no use, but be conscious that it really does matter and that you have to listen to your heart and understand that that which obstructs it is only your own unhappiness. So that always has to be your main focus. We talk about the ego, and very often then people think about somebody who has a big idea of himself or herself. But actually that is only in some people, and even in those people where it looks like that, where it looks like bright and shining and confident, that is just a little layer of paint. The true ego is the poor me ego. The true ego is the ego that is feeling very afraid, very uncertain, very alone, very incapable, very dissatisfied. That is the true nature of the ego, and that is what makes you unhappy. So it is from this unhappiness that pressing desires come. Desires that are so strong that they make you forget what your heart tells you, and anyhow you are taking something even though you know it is not the right thing to do. But you feel, poor me, I really need it, and my need is bigger than other people's need, and I have the right to take it. And then the whole reasoning comes to let you do this thing, while actually you know very well in your heart it is not so, and in your heart you feel guilty, in your heart you feel like little like separation from yourself, and this will only increase your unhappiness, and especially also in your relationship to others. Because if there is one desire that we all have, if there is one desire that is universal, it is love. It is being together. There's no greater pleasure than togetherness, and that is the pleasure that we are actually all seeking. And so running after any other pleasure and thereby destroying the love, destroying our relationships, destroying our togetherness is really like a very stupid thing to do. But still, it happens all the time. So understand this, and understand that unhappiness is the root cause of every problem, and that it only leads to a dharma, to that which goes against dharma, and that is not the way you want to go. So I've said it so many times, but it's the main thing, so I'm saying it again. Whenever you feel unhappy, that is your first dharma, your first duty, your first obligation to stop that. Don't feel guilty about feeling unhappy also, right? We talked about that. But understand this is not needed. There's no need. And it's definitely not going to bring you anywhere or going to bring you out of it. You are already happy. Inside you are already happy. Go inside and you will find it. And from there, move forward. My teacher called this becoming a human. Like we humans, we have also a little bit like animal nature. And at some point in our development, we can become really human. That is when we start following Dharma. When we start recognizing the importance of Dharma. Not the importance in the sense of from some moral point of view. Not because somebody told us. Not because we are afraid from hell. But basically because we understand that following Dharma is what is going to make us happy. And happiness is all we want. So, Ramana Maharishi called this Atma Dharma. Atma being the self. So, whenever somebody would ask a question to him about Dharma, is it Dharma to do that or is it Dharma to do this? He would say there is only Atma Dharma. That means the Dharma that comes out of the self. The Dharma that you feel in your heart. And to other people at some point this may be not, looking logical. They may not agree with you. But you may feel that at that moment this is what you have to do. Like let's say for example, you are walking on the street and there is a beggar and he is asking some money. Maybe with one beggar you will feel, oh yes, I will give. And with the other one you will feel, no, I will not give. This in your heart you will feel. You don't know why, but you feel it. And there is a reason for that. Because we are all connected. There is some knowing that comes out of your heart. Maybe the one guy who you feel you should not give it, he is making very bad use of this money. And he should not be supported in it. While the other one where you really feel that he needs it, really needs it, maybe for his child or whatever, other good reason, and in that way you feel that. So you have to trust, you have to have faith in your heart, you have to have faith in your feelings that what you feel is the right thing to do, whether you understand it or not. There is so much going on beyond your understanding. You can't understand these things actually. This is so complicated. You cannot. But you can feel it. Yourself can tell you. So, that is Atma Dharma. But basically Dharma just means to do the job that is in front of you. It is not only about making choices. Dharma means that after you've had food, there are dirty dishes. So, if nothing else at that time matters, if you really do have the time, wash them. This is a natural thing. And don't resist it. Resisting Dharma is really like violence against the self. That which comes to you, that which is your job naturally, you have eaten, so you clean dishes, should come naturally. You should not question it. And you cannot imagine the feeling of freedom that you will have when you have finally overcome that kind of resistance to whatever is your natural role. That is really a big breakthrough in a person's spiritual development. That whatever job comes, it is done, you don't even think about it. You know it is your job, so you do it and you don't try to escape. Most people try to escape their jobs most of the time. Some people may be just too scared of life to do that, so they are maybe even like workaholics and working all the time because it's like the only thing they can think of to do to get rid of their basic fear. But if you're a little bit beyond that, then easily a job comes and you feel, oh, I would prefer really doing something else. I'll just wait a little bit, maybe somebody will come by and do the dishes. So it's we are like that. So you have to a little bit understand that and go against that to do your job, and to basically understand the difference between needs and desires. Desires are many, as many as you want. Needs are very few. You have the right to take care of your own needs. That is not only your right, that is your duty. That is your dharma. You are the caretaker of this body. If this body needs food, it's your job to take care of it. So that's a very different thing from your desires. And you also have a duty actually to go after your desires, because that's why we are here. That's the divine play, that's the game, that is Shakti, the mother goddess, the energy. But it's different than with needs. With needs, if let's say in Belgium there's hunger everywhere, no food at all, and suddenly a truck comes and starts like distributing these packages of food, but there's maybe like 500 packages and 10,000 people from Ghent wanting one of these packages, and you have children at home who are very hungry, then you will fight to get one of those packages, and you should. That's also nature. Survival of the fittest. When it comes to needs, that's natural. But when it's going about desires, then it's very different. There to take it from somebody who needs it only because you desire it, that is a very different thing. And you will feel that in your heart. As I said, we're now talking about it, but this is just a little bit to have a class. But the basic idea is not to think about it or talk about it, but to feel. So at that moment you will feel those differences very, very clearly. So all these things in yoga that are said, like want what you have and don't want what you don't have, they are coming very handy as like general guidelines to help you to make these choices. There's nothing wrong with desires, but there is something not so right about forcing it, about creating disharmony in order to fulfill it, about being violent about it. But if the object of your desire comes walking by, naturally, then please have it, fulfill the desire, and enjoy it, and in that way also honor the divine. So these are some guidelines that you can give, but not so many. And well, another is that definitely when we talk about desires, there are differences in quality. Like, it's also about how you spend your money. I mean, you can buy the latest iPad, or you can buy a ticket to India. It's quite the same, like, price level. Which is a different kind of desire. And you have to ask yourself what will bring you more. And more in terms of what? Well, quite simply, what will bring you more happiness? So there are many desires where we get caught into feeling that, we want it, we need it, and we have to have it. But actually, if we would be a little bit conscious about it, we would understand, okay, if it comes by, no problem. But I really don't feel like I should pay for it, like I should create any problems for it, because it's really not very important. Those are desires, okay, nothing wrong with chocolate ice cream, but I'm not depending on chocolate ice cream. But maybe I'm depending on company now and then. So let's go for company. That's like a higher desire. And actually you will also find that to fulfill those higher desires of love, but also of beauty, of understanding, of growth, of really feeling good, are generally free. Like the air is still these days free. Those things are, generally speaking, free. And to go after them is not causing problems for other people also. Because those things are unlimited. It is not because you have love that other people in the world must have less love. If you want chocolate, then it's different. The chocolate that you are eating, some other people they can have. But not love, not beauty, not understanding, not happiness. All these things can be shared, and actually the sharing of it only makes it more, makes it bigger, rather than reducing it. So in that way there is quite a difference in desires. And okay, you can run against a wall 100 times or 1,000 times, and at some point you understand it's maybe not a good idea. So this is also like this. You can run after certain desires for 1,000 times and understand this is not really bringing very much. And then maybe there are some other more interesting desires that can bring you more. But that also requires a little faith and a little growth, because love and all these things, understanding, they don't come so easily also. No? So don't get disappointed, don't lose your faith, go for it, and very soon all these other things will hardly matter. All these other, let's say, more material things, they will only be important insofar as you need them. Like you need some house, you need some food, you need some shelter, okay? But apart from that, not much. They will bother you. And in that way, your dharma will be so much more easy to hold true. Then some other aspect, let's say, of dharma is the natural dharma of your body. Keeping also some balance in your body is also a dharma. So there you can learn a little bit about yoga, asana, pranayama, ayurveda, gunas, doshas, all these things. That is also dharma. And to have some dharma there, to have some discipline, let's say, there, will very much help you also with your other dharma. Now, of course, sometimes it's a little difficult in the sense that dharmas can be conflicting. Those are the most difficult choices, that you do not know what to choose between two good things. Two jobs which seem opposing each other. And there is one very important rule, guideline, which says dharma starts at home. That is the natural order of things. So basically it means that first of all you have to take care of your own needs. That is the natural order of things. God is everywhere. Pure consciousness is everywhere. Energy is everywhere. The Mother Goddess is everywhere. Don't think you have to take the whole world on your shoulders. Because this can come. The more you come in contact with your heart, with the self, the more you will start feeling this union. The more you will feel connected to everybody, the more you will love everybody, and the more you will start taking everybody's needs, if not their desires even, on your own shoulders. So that is the moment where this rule becomes very important. For people who are generally selfish, it is not so bad that at some point they feel touched by some earthquake in, I don't know, Africa or something, and start organizing some help there. This is not at their home. This is actually not so logical, but in their case is a very good thing. It can help them to grow. It's a little karma yoga, a little self-service. It will give them a good feeling to do that, and from there they will want more, and they will start, growing a little bit spiritually. But if you're a little bit further there, opening your heart, your love for everybody will become a problem because you will not know who to help first. So that is where you need a little rule. And the rule is Dharma starts at home. First, take care of yourself. You are God, like everybody is God. So first take care of that palace you have been given. And then other people can do the same. And only then maybe some people will remain which for some reason or other are unable to properly help themselves. And then if you still have energy, time, finances, whatever left, okay, you can help them also. But first of all, Dharma starts at home. And at home means your own body, definitely also your own children. They are your responsibility, and children are by definition, let's say, quite helpless. They really need help, so they are your Dharma. And that Dharma is dominant over all others, except your own. If my son starts asking things from me which go against my own health, then I have to say no. I am very sorry, dear son, but Dharma starts at home. With me. First, I need to be okay. Then only I can help him. If I get really ill, then he is in big trouble. So it's my responsibility. First take care of me, and then take care of him. But my Dharma as a father absolutely is more important than my Dharma, let's say, as a teacher. Whenever there is a conflict there, I will always choose my Dharma as a father and not my Dharma as a teacher. For the very simple reason, there are many teachers, but my son only has one father, and that's me. So I have to take care of him. And that's very important to understand these things. You can feel at some point that, it's very important to take care of the environment, or to go into some project with, disabled people, or really devote your time to it. But at some moment, you may have to be a little selfish. Not because you are feeling selfish. It's breaking your heart. But it's Dharma. It's your natural role. You have to maybe first take care of yourself, or your child, or your mother, or somebody else who is really close to you and who has very little alternative but you. So that is an important rule. And I remember with my teacher, there was a lady, she was from Brussels, and she was very enthusiastic about his classes, and she would follow him around everywhere. And at some moment he understood that this was creating big problems for the husband and the children, because she was really neglecting them. But she was feeling, okay, this is so important to learn and become more spiritual and get more in tune with my inner self and blah, 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 while you are not taking care of your children. So at that moment, and I remember it very well, he forbid her to see him for 2 years. He said, now you have been following me for so long, neglecting your children. Now for 2 years you can do without me, and first go back to your Dharma. That always comes first. And in that way there is another important rule that says Dharma comes before sadhana. Sadhana is spiritual exercise. Dharma always comes before sadhana, not after. It's a mistake often made. And if you really feel that yoga is the main thing for you, that that's all you want to do, then the only thing you can do is live like a sadhu and reduce your dharma to the very minimum. A sadhu, that is what his life is. He has no family, he has no children, he has no job, he has no house, he has no possessions to speak of. So his dharma is very limited. Only a little bit he has, need for food, so some needs of the body are there. And also there, the same rule will apply. A sadhu also, if he is like, say, meditating, but he feels that actually he should go visit the bathroom, then he will stop his meditation, first visit the bathroom, then come back and continue his meditation. That is also dharma. This is the natural dharma of the body. The body needs this movement, so he will go and come back. So dharma comes before sadhana. And as I said, a little karma yoga really won't hurt. Karma yoga means doing selfless service. If you have that freedom, if you feel, okay, my things are in order, everybody who I'm responsible about is okay, I still have time, and then I feel I can do something else to help. Very good. Very good. It's, moving away from your own desires, your own ego, and opening your heart more. It's very good. There, your talents, your personal talents can guide you. If you are very good in, let's say, administration, then maybe in that way you can help some organization. If you are a very good musician, you could, take your instrument and go play for people who hardly have the pleasure of ever seeing anybody playing music because maybe they are handicapped in a wheelchair and they can't move about very well. So in that way, using your talents is important, looking what can I do and what would be my particular role in this game is important. So don't think, oh, poor children in Africa, I have to buy a plane ticket and go there and help them. They don't need that kind of help. They need help of people who can really help them, who are schooled to help them. It's not so easy to go to Africa and help people there. If it would be that easy, they would have solved the problems long time ago. No? So stick to what you know. Try to see what is your talent, what is your particular asset that you can offer. Dharma is your part in harmony with everything else. So it depends also on you. It does not only depend on everything else, on what needs are there. It also depends on you. What do you have to offer? What were you born for? Let's say.